All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dowell. Yesterday I was in Lowe's, and of course I'm there buying some building materials and what have you not. And all of a sudden there was this lady who appeared to be a little bit older than me. She is walking towards me, and it looks like she's looking at me, and she says, "Happy Martin Luther King Day." And so I looked around me like this. And she said, "Yes, sir, I'm talking to you. Happy Martin Luther King Day." I said, "Ma'am, what's so happy about this day?" And she says, "Well, aren't you happy that you've got civil rights and what the man stood for in order to integrate African Americans into society?" I go, now mind you, I'm sitting there thinking, this is a bizarre conversation to be having in Lowe's. I think more than anything, what surprised me is why would this woman wish me a happy Martin Luther King Day? I mean, after all, they do wish people a Merry Christmas. They do say Happy Valentine's Day. They do say Happy St. Patrick's Day. They say Happy Easter. And I guess she was just trying to acknowledge all the days on the calendar. I said, "Ma'am," I said, "I think you're grossly misinformed." I said, "I don't think there's nothing happy about this day. As a matter of fact, Martin Luther King says that he think he made a mistake. He think that he's trying to integrate his people into a burning house." She said, "I never heard that before." I said, "Do you know anything about the Constitution of America?" "Well, I mean, no, not really." I said, "Did you know that the 13th Amendment, allegedly the 13th Amendment along about 1865, 1866 on paper, so-called abolished slavery, and then in the 14th Amendment made everyone that is born in the United States of America citizens, and then the 15th Amendment gave African American men the right to vote, but women still couldn't vote, be it black or white at that time. Did you know that?" Well, no. And I said, "You know that next month is what they call Black History Month?" "Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with it. A whole month." I said, "You know they gave a Black History Month during the time, out of a whole 12 months in a year, they gave them the shortest month of the year." I said, "My question to you is if Black History Month is 1 month out of a 12-month calendar year, who does the other 11 months belong to?" She says, "Oh, well, I never thought about it that way." I said, this alleged civil rights stuff that they taught you in public food system and all this old other stuff. Did you understand? Even though all those laws was up on paper, but in function it was totally impotent and inept. There was still segregation, and the segregation laws that was actually on the land, anti-segregation laws that was actually on the paperwork itself and stuff. It was not enforced, and black people continue to keep being lynched, even though it was written on paper. They still had colored water fountains, colored bathrooms, colored restaurants. But, the 50s was a golden age for the white people, but it was poverty. It was unemployment. We wasn't enjoying the American dream and all this old other stuff. She says, I would never talk about this stuff in school, but I just wanted to wish you happy Martin Luther King Day. I said, "Ma'am, the only thing I'm trying to do is get you to see something. Is that there's nothing happy about this day, just like there ain't nothing happy about Christmas. She goes, you don't celebrate Christmas? I said, what do they say that Christmas is? Well, it's the birth of Jesus. Don't you know that? And I said, no, I don't know that. As a matter of fact, I have read that Bible quite a few times. And I have still yet to come across the actual date of the birth of Jesus. And I've never came across in that where it told us to celebrate his birthday. I mean, after all, the Bible's pretty clear. If it told us to celebrate his birthday, would there not be any instructions in there to tell us? She said, yeah, but it is in the Bible. I said, man, what church do you go to? Well, I go to the Baptist church down here, and I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to put this church out there on the map and stuff because you know how people do on YouTube and social media. And I said, you go to the Baptist church, and they taught you that Jesus' birth was in December 25th. Is that correct? And they call it Christmas. And, little baby Jesus and the whole 9 yards, right? She says, well, yeah. I mean, that's the date of the Christ born. And I said, man, have you ever read the Bible? Well, I mean, I read it, when I go to church. I said, what about in your own private time? Mostly when I go to church. I said, do you know that the Bible teaches us that we should actually show forth the Lord's death until he comes? We should be celebrating his death, not his resurrection or his birth. Did you know that? No, she said, are you a preacher? I said, that's what some people would classify me as a preacher and stuff. I said, it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad that you are in a society and you are living in a time and you are this old and you still don't know the truth about anything. You go to church on Sunday? Yeah. And I said, when you go to church this Sunday, ask your pastor, why are y'all celebrating the first day of the week as a rest day according to the commandment? Did you hear what I said? As a rest day according to the commandment, as opposed to the seventh day, like the Bible says. Ask him and see what he says. Right? Just ask him that. Well, I will. I said, okay. And then also ask him, why are y'all celebrating Easter when there is no instructions in the Bible to tell you to celebrate Easter? And then ask him, why aren't we celebrating the Passover? I know he's going to tell you, though, but I just want you to ask. And then when you get finished with all that, I want you to just go do your own independent study and your own independent research. And because we just had this little short conversation. I just pretty much showed you how you have been lied to all your life. And that don't hurt you, that don't offend you. Well, it does. It kind of makes me think a little bit. I said, good, I've done my job today. Ma'am, I hope you have a wonderful day. But don't go around wishing black people happy Martin Luther King Day when there ain't nothing happy about it whatsoever at all. My question is why do we make holidays to dead people the government has killed? Martin Luther King, Abraham Lincoln. You can go on and on. John F. Kennedy. What? Anyway, I think I think too much. I really, truly do. I bet a lot of you don't know out there that during the time of segregation, Jim Crow laws, is that things were so bad that they didn't want blacks in their children, coloreds. They didn't want coloreds. That was the word at the time. Negroes and coloreds. They didn't want coloreds in their school system. That over in Virginia and Alabama and South Carolina, they shut the schools down. They literally just shut the schools down. And they took them years to open them back up. But when they opened them back up, do you know how they opened them back up? To make sure that the black children or the colored children was not, segregated in their school systems. They called them private schools. That's how they kept the black or the colored children out of those schools, because they could not afford, the parents could not afford to send them to private schools because it's a private business. Yeah. Oh boy, I tell you, man. Anyway, I think I've said enough here this morning again in order to piss people off. And I think it's a bad situation. I really, truly do. I think it's a very bizarre behavior that we have developed in this time, this world, this society that we live in. And I really, truly think that it's really bad when we love lies, we refuse to investigate and study stuff. And then if we do investigate and study stuff, we look for stuff that's going to confirm our own personal opinion rather than eating the whole roll. You know, it's like at pagan Thanksgiving. That Thanksgiving holiday, it came from the pagans, the Saxons, the Druids, the Celts, the Gauls, the Vikings, all those people over there that worship the gods, poured out drink offerings of gods. And so when they came over here and they killed 700 indigenous people of the land and said Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving, all they did was transfer that pagan holiday to here over to here. And most people, people just don't have the truth today. As a matter of fact, I've then got to the point to believe that people just don't have the spirit of truth in them. And when you start telling the truth, it's pretty bad when you start telling the truth and then people who say they love the truth, they get mad and they get upset. I'll tell you what I've been doing. I've been going over history books, and I'm talking about 18, 17, 16, 15s, when you can get them. You can actually get a facsimile copy or a PDF copy or a digital copy of these books. But I was looking at one book the other day, and they wanted $58,000 for the book. I was looking at another book, and they wanted $12,500 for the book. And then I was looking at, matter of fact, I had some information sent to me about the Slavic version of Josephus. It don't read like our English versions, and you know what it does? It clearly tells you what Flavius Josephus said about Jesus. It clearly tells you what his color was, how he looked. It told you everything about him. But you know what? It's been omitted from our English versions of Josephus. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of things that they've taken out of history. Of course, you know, Winston Churchill said, you know, history will be good to me because I intend to write it. So, hey, there's a lot going on. Must be desired. Anyway, I didn't mean to rain on y'all parade today, but I know one thing. I guarantee that older white woman won't be wishing any more coloreds, Negroes, blacks, African Americans, Hebrew Israelites, no more. Happy Martin Luther King Day. Y'all have a wonderful day.